And no real excuses. Breezy conditions at Albany last week. Marty Holler had a most satisfactory debut last week.
New Zealand welcome to the Argentinian Pumas.
So the fans are here in their thousands, getting their only look at the All Blacks in 2001. Final scenes from inside the dressing room of the Pumas. This is their big match on tour. It's a 4-match tour. They've played 2 already, and they will front up again against New Zealand Maori in Rotorua on Tuesday. But this is the game that they have focused on. They've never really done themselves credit in New Zealand, but this is their opportunity.
But they are a traditional rugby country. They've been playing rugby in Argentina for over 100 years. They never really became a rugby force till about the 60s, and then of course with Hugo Porter in the 70s to 1980 they became a real strong force, serious contenders, and we are the only, New Zealand is the only country that they haven't beaten in rugby.
So here they come now onto Jade Stadium in Christchurch, and it's a very measured entrance to the ground for them. The main focus when you look at the Puma forward pack is the front row with well over 100 caps between them. But another real star is the bald-headed flanker Orlando Martin. The man in number 7 is a veteran of 63 test matches, played in the 1997 series against the All Blacks, and has been a world-class performer since his 1994 debut. A red-letter day for Argentina's captain Alessandro Albizu as he equals the great Hugo Porter in games played for the national side. Tonight his 93rd and his 75th test match. And now the Jade Stadium welcome for the All Blacks.
The New Zealand All Blacks.
A number of changes in the All Black pack from last week. Carl Heyman into the front row, and an All Black jersey for the first time for Jerry Collins. The 20-year-old takes over from Ron Cribb and comes back to the ground where he broke his leg just a couple of years ago, and Tane Randall gets his chance on the open side flank. A lot of controversy last week when Jonah Lomu was left out, but the big fellow is back this week to play in his 47th test match, his first against Argentina. Also back the old combination of Marshall and Mertens as they join together for the 33rd time in a test match.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask you to stand for the national anthems of Argentina and New Zealand.
Now the national anthems.
God defend New Zealand.
Beautifully sung as it was last week by Lappy Mariner, the New Zealand national anthem. And now the side to the All Blacks to perform the haka.
Well, I'm ready. And so are they, I dare say.
All is in readiness for the test match. It's a one-off test. The All Blacks against Argentina at Jade Stadium here in Christchurch. Referee tonight, Andrew Cole of Australia. And on the sidelines, Peter Marshall from Australia, Alan Lewis of Ireland, and George Ayoub is the video referee.
Well, 5 of this Puma forward pack, the front 5 all play their rugby in Europe. They'll be strong in that area.
Test match is underway with the Andrew Mertens kick off, and the Pumas can't control it, and they have to scramble to the touchline, and that's an untidy start. And the All Blacks have an early advantage with the throw to the line just out from the 22. Let's quickly go sideline, Smithy.
Absolutely perfect, the conditions in this bow tonight. No excuses for ball handling, and Anton Oliver there, who want to use his backs because conditions couldn't be more made for it. Just watching Jerry Collins during those national anthems, very focused young man, straight at the ground the whole time and never changed his glance upward at all.
There he is in the number 8 jersey. Troy Flavel in the headgear as Maxwell takes it in. First pass from Marshall to Mertens is a good one. Alatini slicing through in centre field. Marshall digs it out again for Oliver, the captain. Change of direction. One-on-one immediately. Here he goes. Chased by Mendes, and Umaga couldn't take the in pass, and he lost it forwards. Well, what a start, what an impact from number 11.
Well, so much criticism in the past of All Black teams not able to get the ball to Lomu to give him space. Well, here's half a field, Jonah, and he made best of it. He actually kept that ball in place. If Umaga had caught the pass, he would have scored.
Don't offset.
So first scrum, this will be interesting. Carl Heyman, you'll see him, he's on this side.
Bring it up. No.
So there is a weight advantage to the New Zealand pack. But the big question is Carl Heyman, very tall, about 6'3", this man. That's big for a tight head prop.
Far side.
Far side, so
Far side.
in other words, the penalty was against Carl Hoft. Pretty hard, actually, I reckon, for a referee to award a penalty from the wrong side of the scrum.
Contepomi with the kick for Argentina, and that relieves some of the pressure. Let's have a look. We're on the other side here having a look.
So we can see more than Andrew Cole. Well, I don't know how he can penalise Carl Hoft for that. I'd love to hear Drakey's opinion of that one.
Nicely taken down by Lobe for Argentina. Whistle's gone though. And an infringement again by the All Blacks. So Philippe Contepomi once more. Now this was signalled as a free kick, and so he kicks it out, but the All Blacks should get the throw in.
Well, not according to that touch, Judge.
He certainly signalled it as a free kick as opposed to a penalty, didn't he? However,
nobody's challenged it though.
So the throw to be made by Mendes. Tipped on the All Black side. Marshall. Nice clearance out to Alatini in centre field. All Blacks over the top of it well. Lomu can't hang on this time. Some early handling errors. Umaga early, now Lomu. Admittedly, the pass was a bit high.
Great win against the throw by the New Zealand forward pack.
Bring it up, bring it up. Right
I think it was Norm Maxwell.
No. Too far away. Crouch and hold. Engage.
Augustine Pichot, the halfback for Argentina. Great attacking position for them here. Longu holds in the back. That's the 22-metre line, All Black territory. Carried on by Pichot looks away to his left for Contapomi. Big gap opens up. Support there from Martin.
Stay on.
All Blacks looking a bit shaky in defence at the moment. Contapomi again pushing it in behind. Lomu getting back. And under a fair degree of pressure, Jonah Lomu plants the ball down for a 22 restart, which is quickly taken. And Mertens puts it out near halfway. But rather alarming there. The All Black defence, which was so solid last week, just looked a little shaky.
Well, it did indeed, but there was an eye for the gap, no doubt about it, and the Argentinians took it. Well, it was a well-placed kick. It was worth a crack because in the past, Jonah has been criticised for being slow to turn.
Heading towards the back where it's taken by Longo. Gonzalo Longo in the number 8 jersey. Very powerful in the upper body. The Puma pack is Martin. Rolando Martin, a veteran player, 10-metre line, All Black territory. Now the kick made by Contapomi, who has more of a reputation for running the ball. Up challenging was Leon McDonald.
Let it go, let it go.
And it's play on, so away they go once more. There is Contapomi showing his running skills. Martin is right there and assisting. Now it's nudged through by Arbisu, the captain. And he gets hit at the same time as he makes the kick. Lisandro Arbisu. And they've made a good start, Argentina.
Well, it's good intelligent play too by Argentina, driving through the centre of the line out, actually getting a bit of momentum going forward. As you say, Contapomi finding the gap, getting the ball behind the All Black forward pack. That's what they're trying to do, keep inside the All Black territory.
Anton Oliver's throw deep is good to Ruben Thorne. Notice Mertens in there playing at halfback. Troy Flavel leading the troops. Mertens to Alatini near the 22-metre line. And the ball is out. It's been stolen away by Argentina, but the All Blacks are going to concede a penalty.
No. Number 5, you're on the ground.
And against number 5, Troy Flavel. And here is a realistic scoring opportunity for the visitors. Troy Flavel penalised.
Yes, and really looking at it, it was actually All Black. It was an All Black mistake. There should have been somebody there. Marshall probably being the halfback. I don't know where he was. And of course the All Blacks forced him to endeavouring to slide down, kill the ball, and conceding the penalty.
Well, interesting start for the Pumas. They're very confident after this first 5 minutes or so, particularly if they can have some points to show for it.
Contapomi. First blood goes to the Pumas. 3 points to 0 they lead.
Interesting too, those problems in defence in Lisbo. First of all, it was Norm Maxwell who was stood up, and then Ruben Thorne. So they've got their defensive patterns that were so good against Western Samoa, Manu Samoa. Not quite the same tonight so far.
Well, that'll give them some confidence, the Argentinian team, here on foreign soil.
Long kick from Mertens.
Roll away, tackler, let it go. Ball's out.
Delivered back for Pichot. Clearance made by Contapomi. Our match analyst tonight is Matthew Cooper.
Well, the Pumas have withstood the early pressure from Jonah Lomu, and an outstanding start from the Pumas, all focused around fly half. Philippe Contapomi.
Here come the All Black backs. with Tana Umanga taking it straight up. Marshall delivers off to Mertens. The in-pass goes to Oliver.
Roll away, tackler.
As the All Blacks try and get some sort of continuity going. But it wasn't released by the captain.
Isolated, holding on.
And another penalty, and they're mounting up against the All Blacks early on.
Well, Matthew, you spoke about pressure placed by Jonah Lomu on the Argentinian side, and he'd be the only one that has, because really New Zealand has failed to put any pressure on Argentina at all in the first 8 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Murray, it's a very good start from the Argentine side, isn't it? Good drive here from the forwards. They're doing the basics well. They're just getting the ball in hand. As I said before, Philippe Contempomi's also playing very well at first 5'8", linking with the number 7 we talked about, Martino.
Federico Mendes, 50th Test match tonight for what is now a veteran player. Playing with some real confidence here as they march over the 10-metre line in All Black territory. Now Peace shot away for Contempomi once again. McDonald having to come forward, and he's done well, Leon McDonald. Bursting out of a couple, support is there from Randall. Now Alatini frees up Mertens, looking for Lomu. He's got Umanga on the inside. Umanga for the corner, and that's a great try for the All Blacks, scored by Tana Umanga.
Well, I've always had that feel about them, this All Black side. Give them an inch and they're capable of taking a mile, and they did so on that occasion. Wonderful start to that. Leon McDonald, this is where it started. The strength and the speed, just getting over the advantage line enough to feed Tane Randall. Alatini did well, I thought, drew the last player, and that I thought was a winger on the outside, but it was Mertens. He ducked and dived a little bit, drew a man, fed to Jonah. Jonah ran past his defender, and then of course Tana Umanga wasn't going to make the same mistake twice, and he nailed it.
Andrew Mertens. Looks to bring it round, does so. Good kick by Mertens. Umanga's 22nd Test try is converted, and the All Blacks lead by 7-3.
Outstanding counter-attack from the All Blacks. They all got back in position very nicely. Tane Randall and Peter Alatini. Andrew Mertens looking for support, and then he found the big man Lomu. He's too good for Commodore on the outside. This time it did work, the link between Lomu and Umanga.
Back live now, the All Blacks have controlled the ball from the kickoff. Mertens drags it down, Umanga the try scorer. Marshall away for Mertens, playing with a bit more confidence now. Nudged it down a bit too far, went to Stortoni, the fullback. Managed to free it up for Pichot. Now centre three-quarter Orengo. Ball is turned over. Here come the All Blacks on the counter again. Flavel. He's got support here from Alatini. Just lost his inside supports. Heyman snapped it up.
No, wait.
But a penalty here against the Pumas. And the All Blacks striking back.
Time out.
Well, Troy Flavel, ball in hand. He looks majestic.
Back, please. Time out.
Running like a true loose forward. Drew the little gap. But it started here with a turnover. That was pressure on the tackle. And it was moved quickly. Mertens with the poise, and then watch this man. He showed the ball, saw the hole, and he galloped through it. Looking for support. Alatini was battling to keep up with him, actually. Pretty quick runner, this Troy Flavel.
He's gone down injured, Troy Flavel, hanging on to the arm.
The funny bone, I think we call it.
Nisba, I just wonder whether this goes back to a hit by Norm Maxwell, and if, whether there was no arms involved in the hit.
Took the man out without the ball. Just as report. Just waiting, please. It's time out. It's time out.
Let's have a look at this again. Well, I don't see a great deal in that, if that in fact is the problem.
Well, I think it was more a fact that there were two players on one, really. One guy slowed him up and the other one hit him. I find that difficult. That must have been a ruling from the touch judge, I believe.
Yes, the call came from Alan Lewis, the Irish touch judge. So here's another chance for Philippe Contepomi, who's been preferred in this match to Gonzalo Quesada. So a milestone not too far away for Contepomi. Difficult to kick though on the angle, and just made it.
Well, it was a magnificent kick, beautifully judged. New Zealand obviously attempting to stop it going over the crossbar, and they failed. So it just snuck over, bottom left corner.
7 points to 6. Mertens, plenty of height in the kick. Well controlled though. He shot for Contepomi. Waiting back for this is Collins, linking up with the McDonald's. All Blacks have looked dangerous when they've run with the ball. McDonald in particular. 15 out from the 22, right in centre field. Now away it goes for Mertens. Into the gap is Ruben Thorne. 12 metres short of the line, and the ball has been lost forward.
Well, Jeff Wilson did really well to recover that ball, like the classic Josh Cromfeld move. McDonald, though, he's the man. Found the hole, got through it. Looking for a support. There's Collins behind him, who takes the ball on. So he set it up. Collins picked it up.
Crouch and hold. Engage. Bring it up.
Actually, Murray, you would have been impressed with that piece of work from Jerry Collins. It was a wonderful take. It was a difficult kick. Took it just centimetres from the touchline, and then his backup player's follow-up play was outstanding.
Well, the key was that he was in the right position. As a number 8, he was absolutely in the right position.
Over there or behind. Head and shoulders above hips.
Well, this time he's gone for the free kick as opposed to the penalty. Penalised Carl Hoft when they were down there 10 minutes or so back.
Hold it there, Blue.
Well, it's a fair bit of guesswork on the part of the referee, but I guess it's better to give it to the defending team.
Well, the ruling is a pretty tough one. I think the head and the shoulders have to be... The head and the shoulders have to be above the hips.
Tipped by Thorne, but into the arms of Martin. Away goes Pichot. Handing off to Lockford Aloub.
But once again, gang tackling, which spilled the ball. Gives New Zealand opportunity. A huge right-hand side. We see the All Black backs scattered out there, as you can see. And Big Jonah is wandering across. He wants to be part of the action.
Might be the All Blacks' mind to use Jonah as a decoy early in this game, because they'll be worried about him, and it could be a break for that man Alatini or Umaga.
Well, he's outside. He's standing outside Tan Umaga right now.
Quickly taken. Crashing in goes Tane Randall. They're not back the 10 metres, and so the referee will set this again.
Well, the reason he was penalised because he was on his feet, of course, quite legitimately, but it was a ruck, so he's not able to handle the ball on the ruck when the ball's on the ground.
Andrew Mertens then to have a shot at goal. Randall going to ground here, and yes, you can see leaning over there was Gonzalo Longo. He did eventually get to his feet, but he played with it while he was on the ground.
Yes, it's a difficult decision often for a loose forward of actually whether you go for the ball with your hands, because it's a decision, of course, of in the eyes of the referee when the ruck is actually formed.
Andrew Mertens on his home ground here at Jade Stadium. He's skipped plenty of these over the years, and here comes another one. First penalty goal of the night for Mertens. And the All Blacks ahead by 10 points to 6.
Well, Murray, the All Black line-out is a bit of a mixed bag again tonight. They've chosen to go to Ruben Thorne on 2 or 3 occasions. The last one didn't go too well for them. But that throw down the back, the age-old problem has resurfaced again.
Kick-off made by Contepomi. Trying to control it was Flavel. It was untidy. Marshall fires it out the back door into the arms of Tane Randall as the All Blacks look to set it again. Carl Hoft rather crabbing across field. Marshall looking to organise somebody to kick this from inside the 22, and he does it himself. Coming down for Albanese, chased by Lomu. Couldn't hold him though. Now he gets taken on the halfway line. Puma's getting good numbers back in defence. P-shot. Contepomi persisting with the kicking at the moment. Bounces up for McDonald, who's been something of a danger man so far. Sits up nicely though for Stortoni.
Well, Leon McDonald on that occasion deciding it was prudent to play the game down in the Argentinian half. That's Jonah getting up on pressure. Unable to hold the man, just ankle tapping him. But once again, this is an opportunity for New Zealand. Let's see if they can take the ball in.
Lobbing it to Maxwell. Unchallenged at that time, Norm Maxwell. It's in the arms of Hoft. Now Marshall delivers it away. Out to Alatini. Plenty of dummy runners here. Thorne manages to hand it off to his Crusaders teammate McDonald. 10-metre line, Argentina's territory. Now Justin Marshall on the charges. Flavel beautifully worked with Marshall again. Next man up is Heyman. Inside the 22, big Carl Heyman sets it. Ball bounces back, snapped up by Alatini. Umaga can't hang on though. And for the second time tonight, Tana Umanga's hands have let him down.
Yes, it's unusual for Tana because he's got excellent skills. This is a good double round, actually. Justin Marshall giving Flavel the ball. Now, watch him run round behind Flavel. Flavel knew exactly what was happening there. It's good instinctive play between the two players, the communication, non-verbal.
Bring it in.
Umaga looking to cut back in field.
Engage. Steady. Let's go hard. Use it. Use it. No. It's not 90. Let's get square. Don't
So
move.
slight advantage to New Zealand on possession and territory.
Bring it in. Engage. Steady.
20 minutes gone in the first half. One try so far scored by Umaga. Dropping back again is Contepomi. And a lovely spiral punt down to the 10-metre line.
In fact, dropped and touched by Steve Chew.
Oliver again finding his man Maxwell.
So this time New Zealand trying to drive forward. So that's Maxwell's fourth take. They're getting a bit of drive on. Of course, it's a big advantage to be able to produce the ball for your backs going forward. They're moving on to it. The defending backs are moving backwards.
Here's Umaga. Ball is there for the All Blacks. Not too many All Blacks there, though. And a bit lucky, perhaps, for it to pop back as McDonald tidies up 10-metre line in Puma territory. Now Marshall, away for Umaga once more. Floats it high for Lomu. He certainly got the measure of his man over there. Carmodon. He didn't get a shot at him there, though. Now Troy Flavel having a storming game again. Here he goes, looking for support, and just comes up short. Alatini goes into halfback. Delivers off to Marshall. They've got plenty out wide. Collins to Thorne, and Tane Randall is in to score the All Blacks' second try of the night.
Well, put that down to Troy Flavel. He broke the line of defence. It came from an interesting maul where the All Blacks were actually being driven backwards by Argentina. But that's okay as long as the ball is under control. Well, this is Flavel's run. Now he's looking for support. I thought he should have just kept on going. And in the end, he decided it wasn't there, so he had to have a go. By that stage, the opposition winger was on us. Albanese had lined him up. So the damage was done when he hesitated. Here he hesitates, misses out. But as it happens, the team finished.
Yeah, nice finish by the three loose forwards, Jerry Collins, Reuben Thorne, and leading out to the open side flanker, Tane Randall, over for a good try to the All Blacks. Nice skills from the three loose forwards.
The man who started the try, Troy Flavel, picks himself up. And Andrew Mertens looks to add the extras. All Blacks have looked particularly good on the counter-attack as Mertens puts it through. And that sends it out to 17 points to 6, with Tane Randall coming up with his 12th try in Test matches, and a handy advantage now for the All Blacks.
Nisbo, just keep an eye on Contapone. He stayed down long after Randall touched that ball down on the 10-metre mark for Argentina. Treatment for a blow to the head. He looks very groggy, and he's the key playmaker.
Makes the kickoff, claimed by Maxwell.
Beautifully taken by Maxwell, actually. 2 hands on his chest, and then he's getting around behind to assist in the drive. But what is he doing? Is he playing halfback?
There he is. Maxwell delivers off to Marshall. Mertens put under plenty of pressure. Collins heaves it back. Umaga, they're going backwards, but Umaga's done pretty well here. Ducks under a high one from Martin, and Umaga has set it well. Now it goes wide to McDonald. Wilson waiting out on the left wing side. Anton Oliver, first man there. Marshall, now he delivers off. Mertens, Randall, Lomu, Thorne. Plenty of players here. As Reuben Thorne sends it back, it's knocked on, or knocked back in actual fact, so it's play on. Trying to control it as Alatini. And the All Blacks, in fact, did knock it on second time round.
Here, but we have the lost forward
well,
first.
It was just a question, really, of who was going to score the try. But an Argentinian hand got in the road.
That's right. Actually, Reuben Thorne was the man in possession, and he had one player between him and the next 3 supporting players. You'll notice this. Reuben Thorne on the outside. Here he goes. Now, have a little look. There's only one defender, and there's 1, 2, 3 New Zealand players. In fact, there's 4 New Zealand players. So really, what he had to do was take that defender. No, there is 2 defenders. So he took one. Well, I guess you could say that's great defence by Pichot.
Certainly creating the opportunities, the All Blacks, after a shaky first 10 minutes.
Just initially, what I've noticed about the back play there, and forwards were included, is the width of the pass. There seems to be a lot more width in the All Black passing, which is using the whole side of the field, which is a lot better aspect of the All Black game, moving the ball wide and creating better angles, instead of being too close and crammed up, where it would be easy pickings for the Puma defence.
Yes, actually just locking that a second time, Matthew, you'd be interested in this. I thought perhaps that one of the New Zealand supporting players should have run behind outside, towards the touchline to give Reuben Thorne an opportunity of both ways.
Blindside move here from Argentina. Tackle though by Reuben Thorne, assisted by Collins. Still on their own 10, on their own 22 here, the Pumas. Collins comes straight through and claims the ball.
Well, that was outstanding rugby. What he did is he drove the player off the ball and made the ball available, so it wasn't a ruck.
Now Umaga away for Alatini, and Peter Alatini gets throw number 3, and it's all about turning over the ball, and that's what Argentina did.
Well, New Zealand taking opportunity of the broken tackles or the little mistakes. But watch Collins over the top. He drove the player away. That cleared the ball, made it available. He's entitled to bend down and pick it up, which is what he did. Gave it to Heyman. They started to drive again, set the ball up, and this is the result. Ball going forward once again. A little bit of a mix-up, a couple of dummy runners perhaps, and Alatini scooped it up and finished it off.
Lovely wide pass too, and it was nice to see the decoy running there. Alatini deserves the try. He's had a very good start to his test match here at Jade Stadium.
He's bang on target tonight, Andrew Mertens. Another conversion to the Alatini try. And the All Blacks have an 18-point lead. Kickoff is made once again. Tipped down by Flavel. It's on the Pumas side here for P-Shot. Contapomi. Well, he's doing a lot of kicking, which often turns the ball over, and that's going to be a knock-on against the All Blacks. They showed certainly in their lead-up game last weekend against Counties Manukau that they can move the ball.
But they really haven't had enough ball, Nisbo, since the first 8 minutes. They took a little bit of control in the beginning of the game. They had possession, they shot a couple of gaps, they drove through the centre, but really nothing's happened for them since then. They haven't really had a ball. The only 2 pieces of possession they've had both times have been kicked by Kantapomi. But this looks like an opportunity. This is a loose head to Argentina. They've got their back spread out to the right-hand side. They've got a big blind side, as you'll see on this side, and the wingers standing very wide and quite deep. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
First man off the back is Gonzalo Longo.
So now they'll move it right to the right.
P-Shot got dragged in, and that's a penalty against the All Blacks. Halfback got dragged into the maul. Can't do that. So the advantage applies. Now Contapomi ducks through again. Oh, and he almost got the pass away to Mendes. And there is the penalty now given. And it's against Jerry Collins, who dragged halfback P-Shot in.
Well, he's a highly rated footballer, P-Shot, in Europe particularly. Plays for the Bristol club. In fact, so does Kantapomi. So they play together in club rugby, the number 9 and the number 10, Argentina. The 2 halfbacks, as they say in Britain, halfback and first 5'8", as we say here in New Zealand. So here he is, Philippe Kantapomi.
Opportunity to bring up 100 test points. So a milestone possibly here. Should be able to nudge this through. Straight as a die. Philippe Contapomi, 100 test points, and it's 24 points to 9.
So New Zealand have been putting the ball high from the kickoffs and putting big pressure on the opposition. Argentina have failed to take the ball in cleanly.
Mertens this time goes a lot further. Stortoni's kick. Collins waiting back, immediately delivers off to Marshall. Rips it across to McDonald. Taken this time. Support there from Collins. And this will be against Argentina.
Leave it! Leave it!
And looks like Jerry Collins has been left on the ground. He's in a bit of strife.
Yes, he's not well. So he goes over the top, he drives around, plants the ball. Can't see where or what he did, but he's squirming as though he's in serious pain.
Murray, I think it's the shoulder. Looks like the right shoulder that Doc Mayhew's working on now. And there was, when he first hit the deck there was quite a lot of pressure on that right shoulder, the first point of impact.
There's concern on the faces of Wayne Smith. So he spins over and he hits in a difficult angle, I guess, on the shoulder, as you say, Smithy.
He's had a heck of a start, Jerry Collins. This would be a real shame. His positional play, Murray, as you said, has been outstanding, and his support play, but it looks like he's in considerable agony.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of luck here at Jade Stadium as Marty Holler comes out to join the fray. So Holler will go to the open side flank, no doubt. And they'll have a little bit of a rearrangement in the loose forward department, and probably Tane Randall to number 8. But Collins, of course, broke his leg here a couple of years ago, and that is not a pretty sight as he leaves Jade Stadium in obvious agony.
And it's disappointing too, because he is a very promising player. We've spoken about him, but his positional play is so good. His support of the open side flanker and support of the breakdown. In fact, that's exactly what he was doing when he got injured.
Interesting too, Nisbo, the point there. He was carrying a white cloth in his right hand as he came off, and Doc Mayhew motioned towards Colin Hawke, the sideline referee, and said blood.
Blood, okay.
Blood. Looks like a dislocated shoulder to me.
Well, that buys him 10 minutes, I guess. Alatini to Lomu. Snapped up by Oliver. The All Blacks now starting to assert themselves. 6 minutes out from half-time. Lomu's been involved tonight as he takes on 3 or 4 of them. Now they set it right out in front. It's there for Justin Marshall. Mertens lobbed away by Umaga. And here's Jeff Wilson. And the try is in doubt. So they'll have a look and call on George Ayoub to make the call.
Actually, Jeff Wilson was challenging the referee to make a decision. I thought that was quite interesting, actually. Good psychology, Jeff. He was challenging. He looked at him and he said, come on, call the try. And Andrew Cole decided it would be wise to go up top. And unfortunately, Jeff Wilson knew, and so did most of the crowd, I guess, that he was out before he planted the ball.
The head-on shot here certainly looks as though he may just, I think you're right, Murray. Might just have been out before he landed it.
Well, I'd say he was well out. Right-hand side of his body, clearly in touch.
Okay, so we've got a 5-metre line out. Okay, thank you. Touch, 5-metre line out. 5 metre. On 5.
So Jeff Wilson denied his 41st test try. And a line out is quickly taken down by Lobe for the Pumas. But they're very much on the back foot here. Oh, knocked on in goal. 5-metre scrum coming up, surely. Well, maybe not.
Well, it seems strange to me. It was clearly knocked on in goal. Marcello Lofreda, the coach.
Andrew Cole must be looking somewhere else. Here's the All Blacks.
Ball too slow. They drove it, but the ball's deadly slow.
Now Marshall. Mertens rips it across. Alatini's looked lively in midfield. Marty Holler, number 19. Right there. Umaga has joined the maul. Now snapped up by Lomu. High work rate tonight from Jonah. Mertens. Lovely pass for Oliver. Plants it back. And kicked away by the Pumas in an offside position.
No. Go back 10. Go back 10. No.
Marshall he's frustrated. He wants the mark. Give me the mark and I'll kick the ball.
That's exactly right. I mean, but I can understand that. I mean, Andrew Cole refused to give him the spot.
I guess after 49 test matches, you're entitled to have an opinion on the field.
Nisbo, the update on Jerry Collins. As soon as he came off the park, they put big ice pack on his left shoulder. They've strapped that left shoulder, and as I speak, the jersey's gone back on. The number 8 jersey has gone back on. They're hopeful of trying him back out there. So the blood bin call worked. Here he comes.
Well, if he finishes the game, I'll be very impressed.
Gutsy call, all right. So Marty Holler will have to go back to the touchline.
Well, the thing is, Jerry Collins isn't a showman. You know, he's not putting a big. I mean, there was obvious pain in coming from his shoulder area, so it is remarkable that he's coming back onto the field.
Marshall takes the tap. Now they hand it back, and they're going to test the shoulder pretty early. Down he goes and lays it back nicely. Marshall for Mertens. Alatini, smashed and a good tackle by Arbisu. Now here's an opportunity for Camadon. Away for Aringo. Looking for his support, holding it up as long as possible. Now he gets it away, and Arbisu is going to score a fantastic try. That is outstanding. Lisandro Arbisu in his 75th Test match, and what a try it was too.
Well, it was constant support of the ball player. It started with a tackle, ball and all tackle on Alatini. The passing was slow. It was a great defense there it was. In fact, he dropped the ball slightly before the tackle because he felt the pressure, and then it all happened. And everywhere he looked, there was supporting players. Even the lock forward I see there. Good play, feeding to the outside. And there he goes, a clean pair of heels.
Philippe Contaponi. All Blacks rocked back by a long-range try from the Pumas. Just away. But look at this, from near the 22-metre line. And you did right, Murray. The last pass made by a lock forward. And the thrust of the arm in the air from Lisandro Arbisu.
Look at this, Nisbo. Tony Brown on the park. Andrew Mertens is off, right hamstring.
Yes, I was watching Mertens running back in defence there, trying to drag in the players, and he looked like he was labouring or carrying a leg.
Disappointing comeback from Mertens then. Argentina back in this, 24 points to 14 as we close it on half-time. Contaponi with the kick once more. Well, at 24-6, the All Blacks were looking pretty comfortable. But Tony Brown is on. 30 points last week against Manu Samoa.
Very interesting. On-form player, Tony Brown. One wonders how that will affect selection against France next weekend.
Maxwell had the clean take. Umang is throwing himself at the defence. All Blacks get there quickly, and now Brown to Alatini. Carl Hoft, nice work. Into the gap goes Justin Marshall. Inside the 22, snapped up by Maxwell.
Let it go!
All Blacks marching forwards. Now they clear it away. Alatini away for Lomu. Randall, and the pass to Flavel is behind his man. And they've bombed a few opportunities tonight.
Well, disappointment everywhere. Jonah doing the story. Tane keen to get it outside to the man on the outside. I wonder whether Tane maybe should have straightened it up a bit himself. But I guess the natural reaction was to move it wide to the unmarked man.
All Blacks crying out for balking, but it doesn't matter too much because they've got it anyway. Here's Tony Brown up to Umaga. Line is right there, freed away by Marshall. Again, the ball is intercepted, but the whistle is gone. And referee Cole is going way, way back here. Now, what's the problem? It's a long way back. They're playing an advantage, and it may well have been a free kick. Well, that might have been the balking.
It was something to do with the line-out, but I'll tell you, it was great. It was a great line-out work by New Zealand to win that ball so cleanly by Maxwell.
Mendes.
Locks in.
So, try-scoring opportunity.
Engage.
Scrum holding up well. Now it's released by Collins for Marshall. Still got it, Marshall. Alatini, they must go in, they do. And that's the second one tonight for Peter Alatini. Good, solid scrum, set it up. And then Justin Marshall with all his strength. You see Marshall here, he's held, but he's still able to deliver the pass. And Peter Alatini saw the gap. He looks sharp tonight, Alatini. Straight through he goes.
He does look sharp, but really the Argentinian defence is guilty of missing the first tackle or not holding the first player up. New Zealand just getting enough time, enough space for the supporting player to run onto the ball. Once that first line is broken, there doesn't seem to be a second line of defence for the Argentinians. There's not as much pressure really on the ball like there should be.
31 points to 14. And another look here. It's the strength of Justin Marshall. And Alatini took the gap. There was plenty of support out wide. And Peter Alatini, and some more injury news sideline, Smithy.
Yeah, there it is, Nisbo. He tried his best, Jerry Collins. He is in real agony, as Murray suggested. Marty Holler back on in 19, and this will be for good.
So Collins and Mertens both on the sideline. And Marty Holler, who made a very promising debut last week at Albany. The Waikato man gets on with a couple of minutes remaining in the first half.
Well, it really does add interest to the selection issues for the All Black selectors next week against France, because France is a form side. And they'll have to play their very best team that they think they can put on paper on the field.
Nice throw by Oliver, finding Thorne at the back. Brown on for Alatini. Jonah Lomu has really been involved a lot. Now it's up again for Anton Oliver. Marshall. Umaga. Brown away for Wilson. Gets on the outside. No, not quite. An intercept by halfback P-Shot, and away goes Marshall. He gets flattened, but handed it off to Anton Oliver. Marshall again, a flat pass for Tane Randall. Siren sounding as the All Blacks desperately after the ball. And Andrew Cole, let's see if he sets the scrum.
Wait, it's half time. Thank you.
In fact, he wants to blow the whistle for half time, and that is it. So the end of the first 40 minutes. Plenty of action at Jade Stadium. The All Blacks have scored 4 tries to 1 and will take a 31-14 lead to the break.
And that's really an indication of the first half. 4 tries to 1. Argentina started with a hiss and a roar in the opening 8 minutes, really collectively playing quite well, denying the All Blacks much possession, and then they started with a little bit of a gap, a little bit of opportunities. The All Black took advantage of it without any shadow of a doubt. 4 tries in the first half in an international game is good by anybody's standards, but they were given a little bit of latitude. I thought the defence of the Argentina side was not as strong as it should have been at the tackle area around the ball. Expensive first half though for New Zealand, losing Mertens and also Collins.
4 tries in the first half, 2 to Alatini, 1 to Umaga, the other to Randall. And for Argentina, Abisu scored the try. 31 points to 14 at Jade Stadium.
Half-time at Jade Stadium in the test between the All Blacks and the Argentinians, and it's the All Blacks in front by 31 points to 14. 4 tries to 1 in the first half, 2 to Peter Alatini. The first was scored by Tana Umaga. Tane Randall has also scored, while for Argentina, a try started and finished by their captain, Lisandro Arbizu. 3 penalties for Felipe Contempomi, while for the All Blacks, the extras have been added by Tony Brown, and that's perhaps the downside of the All Black performance so far. Apart from the fact that they've bombed a couple of tries, they also have Andrew Mertens and Jerry Collins out of this match with injuries. Let's go to Matt Cooper now for his analysis of the first half.
Well, it was a reasonable start to the Pumas early in the game. They started their line-out play, continuing on from Puki Koe last week. Got involved with some nice drive. Contempomi's had a good game at first 5 for the Pumas on attack, and he's linking up well with Martini in the number 7 for Argentina. He brought up his 100 points in Test rugby for the Pumas. Well, the All Blacks took a little while to get into their game. They started very well. Lomu attacking down the sideline there, looking for his partner in crime, Tana Umaga. The drop there, and also another couple of drops early on for the All Blacks, but then the machine started in full cry this evening. The first try coming in with the line-out's been very effective as well. Also against the throw, the All Black line-out, once again a dominant part of their game this evening. And there's the first try, which will be starting now. A counter-attack from Leon McDonald, having a very good game in the fullback, the number 15 jersey, linking with Tane Randall. Some good counter-attack play from the All Blacks. This time they're passing nicely to Jonu Alomu. And this time he did find Tana Umanga on the inside there. First try for the All Blacks. But there was more to come with the All Blacks. This time the three loose forwards get involved. A nice wide pass from Justin Marshall to Jerry Collins. And there's Ruben Thorne out to Tane Randall. The three loose forwards working nicely for the second try to the All Blacks. There was still more to come. This time the backs got in on the piece. Nice backline move. Wide pass from Andrew Mertens. The decoy running, leaving Peter Alatini in the gap. Alatini having a very good game at second five, getting involved, attacking strongly. But this was a little break in the All Black plan, was the Argentine defence. Nice tackle there from the captain, Abizu. And the pass out to Oringo, the centre, and look at Obizu. He gets involved again, the captain for Argentina. A little bit against the run of play over for the Pumas' only try in the first half. But as the game went on, the All Blacks weren't to be outdone. They've had a very good 40. This time there, Justin Marshall showing his strength, linking up for one of the players of the match so far, Peter Alatini, using his speed to come around for a good try.
Yes, the All Blacks have conceded their first try of the international season, but they've scored 4, 31 points to 14. The score at half-time here at Jade Stadium.
Let's see the perfect notebook through your eyes. A big vivid screen, a fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, one-touch internet access. How about the power to turn heads? Oh, you'd like a deal. Okay, get the compact Presario 1700T Internet Notebook PC for just $14.98. Order today and add a quick dock port replicator for just $49 more. You truly are a person with vision. Call toll-free 1-888-267-5869 now.
The season announces itself, revealing the art of its fierce contenders. Amid the storm, a thunderous growl threatens. Only the strongest prevail, illuminating their souls, giving their hearts for a glorious day. Fox Sports World presents The Art of Football Chileno.
My world, my life, my game. My world, my life, my game. My world, my life, my world, my world, my life, my game, my game, my game.
The stage is set. And only the best will survive. They've come from everywhere to prove their greatness. Now is the time. Let the games begin. Kick it off in 2001 on Fox Sports World.
This weekend on Fox Sports World, live on Saturday at 11 Eastern, Rugby Union, South Africa versus France. At 1:30, Football Mundial, and at 5, Costa Rica versus Jamaica. On Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, Chilean Soccer, Cobreloa versus Palestino. At 7 Eastern, SkySports.com TV.
It's the only place for your weekly dosage of football. The Fox Football Show. All the news, stats, and information in the world of soccer. Don't settle for second best. The Fox Football Show on Fox Sports World. Get your game.
31 points to 14 at half-time. Let's have a quick look at the stats in the first half of this match that sees the All Blacks having scored 4 tries to 1 so far.
Well, it was by no means a faultless performance by the All Blacks, as you'll see. Handling errors down there in the left-hand side, 10. That's significant, but they were in dominant form. Just have a look at the territory, 76%, possession 67. Rucks and mauls at 2-1. And missed tackles a low count also. Kicks and play, quite interesting to see that the Argentinians are kicked 7-3.
Smithy sideline now with All Black selector Peter Thorburn.
Peter, first 40 minutes, fairly bruising affair, a couple of casualties. How have you seen it?
Yeah, they've doing what we expected. They're really competitive at the scrum and getting a through over the top of the rucks and balls. We've got to clean them out a little bit better. We've got to get closer onto the ball carrier when we snake up. But all in all, it's been quite good. Just a little bit skittery at times.
Conditions a lot more favourable for using the backs tonight, and some good tries out wide.
Yeah, and good support. Alatini's come around twice, and doubled round. No, they're putting it together well, and the dry ball certainly helps compared to last week.
So all in all, Peter, a step up from last week, and relatively happy at this point.
Yeah, the set pieces are just a little bit untidy and some of the phase ball, but it's a big step up again, so it's quite good.
And another one to look forward to next week, eh?
Got to get this one over here, Smithy.
Cheers, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
All Black selector Peter Thorburn just a little bit guarded after 40 minutes of the game. 31 points to 14. Andrew Cole checking with the All Blacks. They're ready to go. Argentina's ready to go. And the second half is underway at Jade Stadium. Contamponi kicks it out. Falls into the arms of Anton Oliver. Ruck is there. Troy Flavel earning the displeasure of the Argentinian players. And Marshall pumping the kick down, and he's put it out on the full. So an untidy start to the second half. They couldn't clear it, the All Blacks.
Well, it was almost taken in well by Maxwell, recovered by Oliver and tidied up, but really there weren't enough players driving over the ball that allowed the Argentinians to get at it, and it wasn't really cleared like it should have been.
Number up.
Early injury break here in the second half. Roberto Grau, the loose head prop, but they're ready to go now, and Mendes. Oh, beautifully taken by Flavel as the All Blacks have contested every line out in this match. Flavel doing some tough work in there. And just the continuation of the form that he showed last week. So Tony Brown, who came onto the field to replace Andrew Mertens just before half-time. Mertens out of the match with a hamstring problem. Jerry Collins also out of the game with a shoulder injury.
So this is another one against the throw. That's snaffled by Troy Flavel. That's two he's taken against the throw, and Maxwell's taken one.
Early jump by the Pumas. Maxwell easily. All Blacks setting it. Looks like Carl Hoft has it. Marshall now delivers for Tony Brown. Not afraid to have a go. And here's Umaga. Into the gap is Umaga. And he hands it off to McDonald. And Leon McDonald has the try.
Well, I think this is a fine example to all young rugby players to watch Tana Umaga when he spotted the gap here, because it really was written all over his body language, shall we say. Let's have a look here. So Tony Brown was pushed through the gap. Tana Umaga now, all of a sudden he realises I can score, and he just opened it up and went for the doctor. And then quite unselfishly, when the line was at his mercy, he said, Leon, you might as well touch down.
Once again, working off a very effective All Black line-out. The All Black backs having fun out there today from the line-out. Umaga, too much speed, went for the cut. It wasn't needed, but the fullback does deserve a try because he's having a good game.
He got the first one today, Tana Umaga. He sets up try number 5 for Leon McDonald. And Tony Brown's kick is just wide. So a test try for Leon McDonald. An unselfish play, as you say, Murray. Umaga could have scored this himself.
But he enjoyed it, you see. There's the pleasure, the satisfaction.
Tip back on the All Black side, Maxwell. It's a pretty skittery ball. Arbizu handing back to Pichot. There's Tony Brown in there tussling with Mendes. That's a catch weight contest, that one. Now Pichot. Contamponi.
Contemporaneous running into trouble big time.
Oliver trapped on the wrong side. And there's a bit of a go there. And it looked like Santiago Phelan and Troy Flavel have an exchange of views. Let's go sideline, Smithy.
Yeah, just a couple of updates on the injury situations for both Mertens and Collins. Collins, the official word is the dislocation of the AC joint. In terms of Andrew Mertens, we said earlier it might have been a hamstring problem. It's actually two bruises, heavy bruises on the left quad muscle, so that might not rule him out next week. Not as bad as first thought. First two rucks there, obviously the All Blacks have been a lot more aggressive, as Peter Thorburn said. Maxwell and Flavel to the fore there.
Thanks, Smithy. Ian Smith sideline this evening on a lovely night at Jade Stadium in Christchurch that sees the All Blacks leading by 36 points to 14.
Well, I think you're right, Smithy. The key is the two locks. They are really in quite dynamic form at the moment.
Good scrum here by the Pumas. Longo pushes forward. They're deep inside the All Black 22. It's there for them.
Number 2, leave it. Onside.
Well, it's stationary ball. They drove well to that position, but they have to go again to get it going forward.
Stay on. Onside.
It's going nowhere from there.
Now it's there for Pichot. Contemporaneous. All Blacks have him well covered.
Well, he did well. He set it up well.
Let it go. Let it go.
All Blacks defence last week against Manu Samoa was quite outstanding.
Let it go, Black. There's the ball.
That line has been breached once so far tonight. Martin and obstruction there, so they went nowhere.
Yeah, but it's a tough call on the Argentinians. Really, he said that they ran an obstruction, which I guess technically speaking you could say it was, but the ball was well under control. It was the fifth phase that the Argentinians had strung together, trying to get a forward motion.
Well, Nisbo, Doc Mayhew's out there having a word with Leon McDonald. Now, there's possibility he's got a problem with his lower right leg, which means Doug Howlett will come into the right wing, and the word is Jeff Wilson back to fullback, and I think that change is being made as we speak.
Well, that'll give Jeff Wilson an opportunity of more play, Smithy.
Well, it hasn't really gone his way, as it didn't for a great part of the game against Manu Samoa either. It's been Jonah's night. It seems to have just gone out towards the direction he's been on, and they have chopped and changed sides as well quite often. But yes, you're right. I think this will get Jeff Wilson more involved.
Because sometimes it just doesn't run for a player, but on other occasions a player can go out and just find it and get involved, and he'll be forced to do that at fullback. He looks like he's pretty keen to.
For some reason or other there, the penalty was turned around.
Good attacking position for Argentina. They've got to take the ball securely, which they've done. They're going to start the drive. New Zealand dragged it down.
It's coming rather slowly. Martin, there's no room there at all.
Martin was monstered by a very effective defensive line.
Now they can have another go.
The same thing happened.
Trying to outmuscle the All Blacks. These huge Argentinian forwards. Look at them throw themselves at this.
Nisbo, it's cutting it rough in there. What you haven't noticed is that Anton Oliver is off the park. The All Blacks are fighting that drive with only 7 forwards. Anton Oliver has been sin-binned for punching. So he's off the park. He's not happy at all. They've got Hammett obviously getting ready to come on because they'll need him in a scrum situation. But there you have it. The All Black captain sin-binned for punching. That's the word from the sideline.
Captain, who's the captain now?
Well, now, who's the captain of the All Blacks? Who's stepping forward? Tane Randall. They're going to need Mark Hammett in the scrums. Anton Oliver is seated for 10 minutes.
So let's see what happened. So Anton Oliver's been held back. So he didn't, and it wasn't a punch actually, it was like a right hand, a big right hand on the opposition chest, and the guy milked it big time.
Well, if that's a punch, Murray, I'll go here.
Well, you know, when someone holds on to your jersey and stops you playing the game, you have to do something. You can't just say, oh, there we are, I'll let you hold me back.
Wouldn't be a punch at Kilburnie Park, Nisbo, would it?
No, certainly not. So here's a big opportunity. They've got to be careful here, the All Blacks, because they could concede a penalty try if they take these scrums down, or they're alleged to have taken these scrums down.
So Argentina backing their scrum. Yeah, doing well too.
Scrum is on the turn. Jonah gets in and makes a big tackle, and this is going to be turned over.
Oh, great play. Great defence. Well, that was good work by Jonah, because really they are one forward down, and as you would have seen, the scrum moved around. When the scrum moves like that, the advantage was squarely Argentina's, because there was one loose forward short, so he actually went in and plugged that hole. He spotted it and he drove them back, and then of course the penalty was conceded. So good work, Jonah. Smart thinking.
Yeah, just right from the right of the screen. Anton Oliver coming up with an uppercut that would make David Tua happy.
Okay, so that's a different incident. So we might have to reassess.
Oh, well, I actually didn't even see it the second time, so maybe I'm blind.
Mark Hammett is on, and his throw's a good one to Norm Maxwell. All Blacks backs to the wall.
So they're buying time here, driving away out of their territory. Marshall pounding it downfield. The line will come up in defence. There we see it.
Stortoni with the kick. All Blacks there in numbers.
Oh, well recovered Argentina.
All Black 10-metre line. Away goes Martin. Carried on by Hassan, the prop forward. Aloub makes a couple of metres. Now it's P-shot away for Martin. Very impressive runner with the ball in hand is Rolando Martin, but they've lost control of this temporarily. Now Contamponi for Arbisu. The All Blacks having to make plenty of tackles at the moment. Now they get it away again. Tane Randall in the defensive line.
Number 2.
Well, the defensive line is resilient. It's holding.
They're 5 metres out from the 22 in All Black territory. Now they've got some momentum. Contamponi ignoring his outsides and going back into the heavy stuff with Stortoni, the fullback. Now it's Lobe muscling their way up. Now the intercept from Justin Marshall. Has he got the legs? I think they've got him covered. And back comes Argentina. Albanese snaps it up. 15 metres in Argentina's territory.
No advantage, no advantage.
And it was lost forward. No. Looking from the touchline, Jerry Collins and Andrew Mertens. But he never really quite had the legs here, Justin Marshall.
So he took the ball and away he went. Now the defence was the two wingers.
Doug Howlett went the other way as Carl Hoff goes down. Well, if that had been Doug Howlett running with the ball, it would have been all over. And Justin Marshall was desperate to catch up with him.
Well, it's interesting, of course, Justin Marshall's having a very, very strong game. And he sort of has to in a way with Mertens on the sideline. They seem to have been selecting them in duos, Marshall and Mertens together. And, of course, Tony Brown and his provincial teammate Byron Kelleher really putting pressure on the incumbents.
Stay there, bring it in. Go, steady.
7-man All Black scrum.
Behind.
So away goes Martin on the 10-metre line of Puma's territory. P-shot, Contamponi, Wilson. Oh, nicely off to Howlett. Away goes Doug Howlett, but he bumped into Tana Umaga and accidentally offside.
Well, that's changed the rucks and mauls. 40 apiece. So they've climbed up to parity, Argentina.
Engage.
They seem to have had a second lease of life. They've got a bit more confidence.
They've got one more player too, which helps. Contemploni wide to Pichot. Now to the right winger, Cameron. Hit by Tony Brown. Not many get past Brown, but Argentina having a very good period on attack here. Now the charge made by Hassan, and up goes the flag for Peter Marshall.
Whoa. Whistle.
2 minutes to go for Anton Oliver. That's what the stopwatch says on the sideline. Haven't the All Blacks done well to just scavenge away there, and the defence is held pretty tight in the face of some of this big driving from the Argentinian pack.
Well, and they've lifted their game, Smithy, too, haven't they? Offensively, the Argentinians, it's almost as like they've said to themselves, we've got a chance now. They're one man down. Let's really put the heat on.
Interesting in the All Black lineup, when the forwards are all talking here, and Jonah Lomu's part of them.
Interested in your comments, Mex. A very powerful scrum here from the All Blacks. The biggest number 8 in the world, Jonah Lomu, coming around nicely. But the others, sometimes the scrums still haven't been that effective. This time, a lot of heat from the Pumas. So the scrum, we're still not dominating physically or aggressively.
Mark Hammond lobbing towards the back, finding Maxwell. Marshall to Brown to Lomu. Again, breaking the line.
Let it go.
All Blacks setting it, 10-metre line now, they've lost it. Bisu, the try scorer, hunted down by Umaga.
Yes, it was great defence, actually. He's hungry. Look
at Umaga, look at him. He's into everything, although they all are at the moment.
Let it go, stay on.
Still coming for Pichot. Now Martin, not really exploiting the fact that the All Blacks are one man short. Surely they're going to spread it wide if there's a man short, but they're not doing that. They're getting hammered. Norm Maxwell.
Well, they did well to keep that, Argentina.
There's some huge tackling going on here. Look at the All Blacks.
Leave it!
It's still there, though, for Argentina, but they'll be a bit gun-shy, some of these blokes. You wouldn't want to pick it up and have a go. You get nailed.
Tony Brown playing like a true open-side flanker.
That is fantastic defence. That was the sort of defence we saw last week. In fact, it's a step up from that.
Yeah, Troy Flavel's injured too, I think. In fact, his body's all over the place.
Oh dear, Eamon and Maxwell. Combination of the two. Now Martin has a go. He gets thumped by Flavel. Then Umaga joins in the party.
This is Contemploni, and Nisbo, the playmaker, once again. He's in real trouble. It looks like Quesada's not too far away, and Anton Oliver, a very hungry Anton Oliver, is all but set to rejoin the fray. And he'll be loving this, the physical side of it, right up his alley.
Well, Marty Holler, of course, was the man who missed out because they needed a hooker, so he'll go back.
Yeah, it's rough justice, that, isn't it? Someone like Marty Holler, he's on the field, desperate to have a go, desperate to force a claim for a test spot. And he's standing right next to Anton Oliver, and he must be thinking, well, you're the reason I'm sitting on the sideline.
That was an outstanding piece of play from the All Blacks. A lot of pressure on the Pumas. Coming back on the big cut there with the Pumas. Huge defence there. Double team tackling. And it is a continuation. And it's gone up another level from last week in Albany. The All Black defence. It's amazing what happens when the skipper goes off the field, and the hunger and the enthusiasm shown by the Blacks have certainly put the pressure on tonight. Umaga getting involved. Everybody wanting to make big tackles.
Oh, look at that. That's where he got injured. He was just targeted, absolutely targeted by Roberto Grau. That's disgusting.
That's a shocker. That is an absolute shocker.
Yeah, because that's right in the ribs. In the kidneys.
Have another look. This is knee into the ribs.
Well, that's inexcusable. Well, I hope he stays on the field so there can be some rough justice.
Well, he's not Murray. You see him leaving the park in real pain. Chris Jack on and jersey 18 on his home patch. How about that?
Well, he's lucky it's only yellow. He's got a yellow card, so he's spending 10 minutes in the sin bin. And the All Blacks suddenly find themselves, with Oliver back, 15-14 ahead.
Hold it!
Well, yes, but at some cost, because Troy Flavel, obviously a form player, very much a form player. It's really good to have dynamic players in your middle row. It's a luxury. Not only was he winning line-out ball, but he was doing huge damage around the track.
Great start by Chris Jack, who's the new man on the park. Test debut for him as Tony Brown takes it up to the 22. Now Anton Oliver, refreshed. 10 minutes in the slammer. Here he goes. 5 metres short. Carried on by Reuben Thorne, looking for his first test try. Now Marshall. Across to Howlett. Randall slips it to Wilson. Up and goes again, Jeff Wilson, and he gets it down.
Well, good on you, Goldie. He'd be delighted. He wanted it. He was desperate. He had a little bit of an opportunity, a little bit of a gap because he was brought down in the tackle. Have a look at the determination. But it all started with Oliver. He wasn't stopping for anybody. He's had a time to think about it. He kept his feet and he just kept on plugging on. In fact, at one stage I thought he was going to score. That's only 4 metres out. But Marshall threw the big pass. And here it is, Tane Rangel giving the last one. Wilson was well covered, but not held. And he just pumped those legs. He stretched out. And he said, I'm overdue. I lost one in the first half.
That's better, Jeff Wilson. Outstanding determination and to get to the line in the black jersey. A lot better play. Good play from the All Blacks, led by the captain back on the field. The All Blacks are angry and they're playing with a lot more character and a lot more enthusiasm.
Tony Brown from the sideline, but there is an injury problem for Argentina. Well, I guess Christian Cullen shifting nervously on the couch at home as Jeff Wilson goes closer to his 42nd try. He's on to 41. Test tries. Christian Cullen holds the All Black record at 42.
Well, isn't it amazing, really, when you look at the records book to see these guys on 41 and 42 tries. Not so long ago, the record was half of that.
Chris Jack, the latest All Black on debut, and what a great start. First line out, dragged it in. And what better place to start your test career on your home ground here at Jade Stadium.
Yes, a classic opportunity. Chris Jack, though, the hallmark of his play this year is he seems to make an impact every time he comes onto the field. And remember, he's been coming on for Todd Blackadder for most of the Super 12, but he just seems to do things. They just seem to happen when he gets on the field.
This by the injury was to Albanese, the left winger for Argentina. He's leaving the park, then replaced by Nunes Piosek. Now, he was one of the shining lights, if there was one, against Thames Valley during the week. He was the man that missed the tackle here on Wilson. Got him initially, let him go. The head, I think, went into the knee.
Tony Brown's kick is a beauty.
Well, he's certainly on form with the boot as well as his play. And Jeff Wilson, I'm sure that will spur him on.
7 tries tonight for the All Blacks. Equals the number they scored last week against Manu Samoa. Tony Brown away for Jonah. He's not on the board yet, but he certainly made a huge contribution. Now Brown. 10 out for the 22. Marshall delivers to Umaga. Looking for support, finds it. Number 28 is on the field. Goodness, that's a heck of a number. Now away goes Brown. Flipped it away to Wilson. Argentina in control of this. Anton Oliver's wearing 28. Chris Jack at 18. Some big numbers out there.
Some more. Some more. Leave it. Whistle's gone. Get right away.
Gonzalo Quesada.
Marcelo Lafreda has looked to make a couple of changes here. This one is enforced, of course. Ricciardo's got to have to join the scrum because they've lost a prop. And Quesada will come on for Contaponi.
So big changes.
Giardi in jersey 17.
Thanks, Smithy.
Get over here. Get square. Crouch and hold. Just hold there. Hold there. Hold. Engage. Steady. Steady. Come on.
Ball was there, stolen. Breakdown in the communications, and the All Blacks having to scramble back with Doug Howlett. He did well to get up and turn, sets it for Marshall, and the clearance is made. Taken down by Longo, the number 8 forward. Just straight up in the air. Tipped on the Puma side. Now looking to make some ground as the ball is lost forward by Nunes Poisek. Oliver whips it away to Brown. Marshall. Howlett. All Black 22-metre line. A lot of hands on the ball here. Players on the ground. Marshall short to Brown. Alatuni pops it up. Umaga turns it back. Marshall. Here's the call from Carl Hoft. Maxwell can't hold it. Knocks it on. So advantage applies. Away goes Stortoni, the fullback. Play ranging up and down. Now it's away for lock forward Alub. Nunes Poisek once again. All over the field at the moment. Doug Howlett fields it. Finally taken down by Martin. Advantage the All Blacks way.
On the ground. Get to your feet first. On your feet.
All a bit niggly in there, and Carl Hoff just
holding the ball.
giving the time-honoured warning of next time.
Yes, well, it made me actually, I probably shouldn't say. A few years ago, of course, there was never that look of warning. It just, there was the action, but of course television has changed everything, and for the good of the game, I'm sure the focus is very much on holding back, not retaliating.
Now the problem for Argentina in back play, they've got their number 8 Gonzalo Longo down on their 22, on the All Black 22. Discipline's the key here now. Already had one sin bin the All Blacks, so they'll be wanting to make sure, even in the face of some of these other tactics from Argentina and the aggressive nature, that they just keep their cool. Still a long way to go in this game.
Yep, 20 minutes remaining, and possession in favour of the All Blacks, although not dramatically so, but certainly territory pretty comfortable.
And rucks and mauls interesting at 51 apiece, so they're all square. So the Argentina and the forwards have been very, very competitive in all departments.
Chris Jack as Oliver throws. This time it goes to Maxwell.
It's off.
Carl Hoft driving off him. Norm Maxwell, 13 clean takes in the match so far tonight, as Brown hands it on to Alatini. Again, skipping through the first tackle, Peter Alatini.
Roll away,
having a very strong game at second 5. Now it's Umaga, up for Marshall. Ref was playing advantage.
For 12, offside.
And it was offside play against the captain, Abisu.
On the touch, Judge.
Greg Somerville getting ready to join the fray. The All Blacks have had a couple of enforced substitutions. This one will be a straight swap, one would imagine.
So New Zealand looking for a try. So Alatini stepping out of the tackle, pumping the legs. Now Tony Brown's just driving him forward like a loose forward would do, and making the ball available. Good play.
Oliver finding Reuben Thorne right near the back. Now the All Blacks will try and rumble this one up. Remembering that Argentina are one player short. Marshall pops it, blindside, but he's thrown it away.
Accidental offside.
Although it was accidental offside play against the Pumas.
These guys. Doing it now.
Well, just looking at that Argentinian front row, they're a pretty powerful-looking group. Reggiato, he's looking like a South American bandit.
Well, he's off the park now because all of a sudden Grell's time is up in terms of his temporary suspension. He's back on the park. He'll have to watch himself. He's lucky to be being back. And Somerville still waits. That substitution will be with Carl Hoff. They were going to make it, and then this big crucial scrum here, they decided to leave Hoff out there.
Off the scrum 9.
Trapped in the back by Randall, away from Marshall. Brown to Marshall. Alatini knocks it on. It was a move and a half, but Peter Alatini just couldn't hold the pass that mattered.
So there was the double round from Marshall, took it, made it available to Alatini, who came onto it. Just the timing, I think the delayed pass to Alatini, just a little bit late, Alatini's run.
He shot back to Quesada, and he scrambles it out, and a pretty useful clearance too. Experienced player Gonzalo Quesada, overlooked for this game, really didn't play that well in Pyro the other day. That was his opportunity.
Well, he really was a star of the World Cup, Quesada. They did better than they've ever done it before in the World Cup. Argentina, they made the quarterfinals through his boot, the majority of it.
Now the change being made, Smithy.
Yeah, Carl Hoff, I think he's had a pretty good game in that front row, and he's also been quite evident in Duluth, as have most of the All Black 8 tonight.
Greg Somerville in there to join Chris Jack, another Crusaders player. Maxwell, he's another one. Marshall as well. Now Tony Brown.
Tony Brown taking it to the line.
Oliver to Marshall, saw the gap. Now Jack, good pace, Chris Jack, and there's a try on debut.
Well, you've got to hand it to this young man. He just seems to make it happen. What a promising talent he is. Sitting on the sideline just waiting for his moment. A young man, a very huge young man, good line out forward. And he's obviously got a line for the try, an eye for the try.
What a moment.
Nice scrum again from the All Blacks. Marshall going through, having a good game, Justin Marshall. The in-pass to the debutant, Chris Jack, showing a good, clean pair of heels. Over for a try that I'm sure he'll remember on his beloved Jade Stadium.
What a terrific turn of pace from Chris Jack. Long legs, and there was never any doubt about it. He's in. Now the conversion. Tony Brown, up comes the 50. 50-14. And the 8th try tonight, scored by Chris Jack. Quesada goes short. Towering effort by Maxwell. Another strong all-round game. But the All Blacks dived over the top, lost their footing.
And that's by one of the interesting factors here, which will please the All Blacks in the face of all this tough play and this physical. They have kept the Pumas scoreless in the second half, scoring 19 themselves to this point.
Still 17 minutes remaining. Maxwell again. Jonah is right in there mixing it.
Ball's out.
Marshall for Brown. Holler pushing a man out of the road, slips it to Alatini. All Blacks getting stronger as the game goes on. Marshall delivers to Brown, and now here's Wilson. He's got the speeds to handle it with him, and it's good night.
Margie Howlett. He scored a try on every test he's played, but when he got the ball on the outside, he was going at top. Jeff Wilson, I wondered for a moment whether he was going to have a go, but he did the perfect thing, really. Drew the last man and gave it to Howlett. No one was going to catch Howlett from behind, but it was a team try. Everybody did the right thing. They moved it to the unmarked man. Tana Umaga, of course. Now have a look at that. Timing, perfect. Howlett running onto the ball at pace. Ball in the right and the left hand, which is correct. Try.
Don't forget the injection of Jeff Wilson as he comes in nicely there at fullback. Good timing from Wilson. Let it go to Doug Howlett. Good lead-up work from Marty Holler and Tony Brown leading up to this try to Doug Howlett.
Great perspective, isn't it, from on top? It's like sitting on the top of the Millard stand. Do you remember that one, Nisbo?
I do.
There's a big pile of dirt there now.
Yes. Well, this is a great All Black try. Classic, really. And Doug Howlett, as quick as any winger around New Zealand. In he goes. And now Tony Brown. So they've really kicked into another gear, the All Blacks. Brown pushes wide. 55 points to 14. And they're now taking over in the second half.
Well, one thing's for sure, they'll be going into this test next week against France brimming with confidence. 2 big wins, lots of tries, everybody getting time and space with the ball. Marty Holler, well, he's a new face on the international scene, and that's an older one.
Changes coming up here for the Pumas. Nisbo in jersey 18 is Stiglia, will be on for Phelan, who's been a little anonymous tonight in jersey 6, and in the front row Reggiardo will be on for Hassan.
Great work again by Maxwell from the kickoff. Brown sees a gap. Randall's out on the right wing side, looking to link up as they get up towards the halfway line. Argentinian defence starting to look very shaky now as Jonah takes it over halfway. Marshall. Holler gave it to Brown. Left behind for Maxwell to hand on to Umaga. Wilson looking for the inside pass. They're all there. Alatini. Holler's back.
And Holler's there like an open side flanker should have been.
10 metres out. Now they carry it on with Anton Oliver. Rampant All Blacks. As they're offside, Argentina. No, in fact, lost it forward by the All Blacks. So a brief reprieve perhaps, as the penalty is given. Offside was the call against the All Blacks.
Well, it was a moment of magic here. Have a look at Jeff Wilson. Tana Umaga drew his man, he fed Wilson, but just have a look at this touch. A little piece of magic. Oh, he just did everything right, didn't he? He drew both men so easily, so comfortably. He knew exactly what the nuance of the man.
"13 minutes remaining at Jade Stadium. The All Blacks taking another step up. Chris Jack with the take. Mendes offside.
Offside. Offside.
So Jack takes the throw. That was delivered by Argentina. So the All Blacks looking to push down into the corner here.
Murray, you've got to be impressed by the All Black line out this evening.
Well, I have. I've been very impressed. It's great to arrive home and see these guys gallivanting around the park so comfortably.
Oliver looking to the back. Very nearly lost it, Reuben Thorne. In fact, just as we praised the All Black line out, they lose one. Futile attempt to kick the ball ahead by Argentina.
Not held. Play on.
Battling his way downfield is Nunes Poisek. Haven't really been too expansive tonight, Argentina. They've endeavoured to take the All Blacks on up front, and it's been fire with fire.
Yes, and of course the Latin blood has been flowing like it does. It's always a very keen and well, keenly fought and contested, I suppose. Every time you play a team of Latin origin, they certainly fire up and they get excited. Just a slightly different temperament, of course, to the Anglo-Saxon.
Greg Somerville packing on the loose head side, which is very interesting, with Heyman on the tight head. Now Somerville is a recognised tight head prop, but you'll notice he was out here on the loose head side. Now Marshall handing off to Lomu, who's had a storming match. So's Maxwell. Marshall, ball knocked back. Drac has to tidy up, and again this display of good leg speed from the big man. Marshall, Alatini, Umaga quickly to Howlett. Here's another one coming up. Marty Holler, and Holler for the line. And there's another one. Scored by Marty Holler.
Well, he'd be delighted. But it was Doug Howlett that beat the... Well, first of all, it was Tana Umaga, I think, with a very quick pass. Alatini, now watch Umaga. Right, it was almost tackle ball and all, but Howlett so easily beat the man off his right foot, and Holler's looking around smiling. He knew he was there. Well, he runs such great lines for an open side flank, and Marty Holler.
Great hands here from Tana Umaga to get the ball away, and he's had some very good lines here. Marty Holler looking around, it puts a smile on my face. The fellow Hamilton Maris player going over for his first try for the All Blacks in Test rugby.
Oh, Coops, you're so parochial, aren't you? You just couldn't help it, could you?
Oh, I'm very happy for Marty Holler.
Conversion made by Tony Brown. 9 tries tonight for the All Blacks. Marty Holler, Chris Jack. Good on him. Now here they go, the All Blacks again. Wilson delivers off to Howlett. Up with Holler. Could be another one here. Holler gets to the halfway line and has to set it there.
He's dead. Sorry, Nisbo, he was dead right. Andrew Cole saw that. Marty Holler got caught. He had the support, but had he let the ball go, it would have been turned over to Argentina. So it was an absolutely correct decision.
Casada.
Let's see if we can see it. Well, he was caught in the tackle. He turned, planted the ball. Now they got someone over the top and they had hands on it.
Flag advantage, Andrew Cole, for the Pumas. Mendes backs in, but they're not going anywhere here. The All Blacks are so tough and close tonight. And he's going to have to go back to the penalty.
Taking the legs.
Yes, it's almost as though the All Black defence has anticipated the style of Argentina are playing, with sort of endeavouring to drive it and then roll around the sides, because New Zealand seem to have 1 and 2 men sitting on the sides just waiting, and the old expression used to be sniping. As they come around the corner, they just snipe them, and one man would hit it and the second man would drive them back. It's great defence. The only way to counter that, of course, is if the All Blacks are doing that, they've got guys on the outside, the Pumas have got to drive through the centre.
8 minutes remaining at Jade Stadium. All Blacks step back and let them make a metre or so there. In goes Lobe. Again, trying to work to their strengths, which is through the middle. And the All Blacks penalised again.
5 foot on the ground, all right?
Conceding their 15th penalty tonight. 15 to 12, the penalty count.
Tactics, all right?
Argentina deciding they want to score another try. So what's the bet that they'll drive it from this line out? I guess you wouldn't get very good odds at the TAB for that, Nisbet.
No, it's odds on this one. They'll have another crack, don't you worry about that. Here they go. And they're getting pretty close to it too. There's the goal line. All Blacks holding them out. Now it's snapped up.
And the ball was lost. Andrew Cole won't have seen that. Oh, yes, he did. So that's pressure on defence. Argentina throwing it at the All Black line.
Let's keep it up. Bring it up. Up. Engage. Head and shoulders. Head and shoulders.
Infringement by the Puma pack. And a free kick here to the All Blacks.
Called you up. Didn't come up.
Tony Brown with the spiral kick. Nicely fielded by Nunes Poisek. Now still Tony. Marshall waits. Marshall can't back though, so Brown hands it off to Maxwell. Carried on by Carl Heyman. Ripped away for Brown. Here's the call from Holler. Holler, who's got terrific acceleration as well. Up near the 10-metre line. Marshall into the gap. He's got support from Brown. Now he looks to Link. Gets the pass to Lomu in a bit of space. Lost his footing, Jonah. And near the 22, so Marshall sends it away the other way now. Away for Umanga. Pushing the kick through. The chasers are coming. Led by Wilson. And it sits up for Jeff Wilson. And he joins Christian Cullen on 42 test tries.
Well, calmly executed by Tana Umanga. Have a look in the replay. The Argentinian defensive line was up flat, but it all started with Marshall taking the hole. Carl Heyman running a defensive line. Tony Brown the pass at the right time, as usual with Tony Brown. Jonah, unfortunately, lost his feet. Everybody in the grandstand was looking for Jonah to score. But second best isn't bad when Jeff Wilson scores in the right-hand corner. But that's the kick through the hole. There's not a man for miles. He took his time. He didn't rush it. What a great sight from afar.
Lovely nudge through from Tana Umanga. It's all been set away by a good pass from Justin Marshall tonight at a halfback for the All Blacks. He's setting this back line away nicely. There's Jeff Wilson going over for try number 42 to equal his buddy from Wellington, Christian Cullen.
Conversion from wide out from Tony Brown is a stray. 67-14, 2 tonight for Jeff Wilson, 42 in Test rugby.
Well, remarkable how a change of environment can really stimulate a player. We see it so often that a player will go from one team to another and all of a sudden life will start again, and that's what I sense with Jeff Wilson back in the All Black side. Wayne Smith, he's had the confidence in him to pick him. Not much was happening for him during the Super 12, but I sense it's about to start again.
Argentina battling on. 3.5 minutes left in the test match. Quesada, they really have ignored the players out wide, persisting in using the middle of the park. Stortoni, the fullback, playing like an extra loose forward. Finally dragged down, but they've left the ball behind.
But that wasn't. I don't think he was offside there. The ball was out and there was only one man involved, so it wasn't a ruck.
Here they are inside the 22 with Martin. Now the charge coming from Lobe. He leaves it behind. Pass delivered by Bishop. Nudge forward. Wilson having to scramble back. Now this is touch and go. Did Carmadon win the race?
We'll just have a look to make sure.
And they're going to check it. Carmadon and Wilson. Carmadon came at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he reckons he might have got there first.
Well, Carmadon looked to me like he got one hand on it only, which is enough, of course, if he had downward motion on the ball. Let's have a little look. Well, I'm wrong. There's two hands on that, as clear as a bell.
And it's a fair try, too. A fair try, scored by Gonzalo Carmadon.
Well, it's certainly a try all day long. Well, all credit to Argentina. They've scored their second try, one in each half.
Well, they've taken a fair battering here tonight at Jade Stadium, but they've had the resilience to come back and score a try in the last few minutes. Gonzalo Carmadon, and that's well deserved. They've given it their best shot. They're a far better side than was here 4 years ago.
Well, they have really. They might have taken a battering on the scoreboard. When I look at the rucks and mauls, 64 to 68 in favour of New Zealand. Minutes in the opposition, 22. They've been 16 minutes inside the All Black 22 compared to 9 minutes the All Blacks have spent inside there. So they haven't really been hammered at all. And, of course, carrying it on a little bit. Possession, they're down 60-40. About the same in territory, but this is the first time they've ever scored 2 tries in a test match in New Zealand.
Kamada, at least Quesada with the kick. Not converted. 67 points to 19, and the siren sounds, and that brings down the curtain on this test match at Jade Stadium, which has seen the All Blacks win by 67 to 19. Handshakes all round. A better game tonight from the All Blacks, led by number 28, Anton Oliver. They scored 10 tries to 2, and it's 67-19.
Well, moments of brilliance, moments of flamboyance. This All Black team has certainly got strike power, and they showed great unity tonight and great cohesion. It wasn't a faultless performance, and in fact, Argentina, to their credit, were very much in this game in all departments except on the scoreboard and the ability to run the ball wide. So really it was an entertaining game of rugby, and it was a point to prove for this New Zealand side. They did it well, and this puts them in good stead for a big match against France next weekend.
31-14 at half-time. The All Blacks win at Jade Stadium, 67-19.